Okay, picture this. It's Christmas morning in the 1970s, and instead of blinking lights, you've got cookies dangling from the tree, cranberries, and popcorn chains. That's right. Decorating a tree in the 70s was a whole sensory experience, bringing together smells, textures, and even snacks. In today's video, we will talk about how Christmas felt like back in the 1970s. Starting off with the food, the 70s weren't just about eating. They were about displaying food. Yes, people still do it today. But back then, each dish was auditioning for an art exhibit. It wasn't enough for food to taste good. It had to look like you spent hours crafting it into something extraordinary, sometimes bordering on ridiculous. Think turkeys in tuxedos, broccoli Christmas trees, and appetizers shaped like little penguins. That's right, boiled eggs weren't just eggs, they were penguins. And that's not even the weird part. Nut stars, fruit skewers, and every jelly mold imaginable became household staples. Families couldn't have a gathering without at least one wobbly, rainbow-colored jelly masterpiece sitting front and center on the buffet table. If you didn't know what was hiding inside that gelatinous blob, well, and that was part of the fun. Would it be pineapple, carrots, olives? Life in the 70s was all about keeping guests on their toes. And then there was the cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. Cheese fondue wasn't just a dish, it was an event. Imagine dipping bread, vegetables, or anything you could find into a bubbling pot of melted cheese, all while awkwardly managing those absurdly long fondue forks. It was cozy. It was communal. It was also a great way to accidentally burn yourself in front of friends. Classic 70s. Cheese balls were another culinary superstar. Big spheres of cream cheese mixed with grated cheddar, rolled in nuts, fruit, or herbs for that extra fancy touch. They'd sit proudly in the center of holiday spreads, daring anyone to dive in first. It was like the food equivalent of a Christmas gift. You didn't want to open it too soon, but you really wanted to. Down in the South, ambrosia became a holiday tradition, a fruit salad mixed with sour cream, coconut, and mini marshmallows. As strange as it sounds, this dessert was everywhere during Christmas, adding a sweet tropical twist to the otherwise heavy holiday feasts. Now let's talk about the Frosty Slaw Man. No, that's not a bad holiday movie. It was an actual dish. Picture a giant mountain of slaw made from mayonnaise, water, cottage cheese, gelatin, and shredded cabbage. Yep, someone took the beloved Frosty the Snowman and said, what if he was made of mayo? If you thought Frosty's fate was sad before, wait until you imagine him slowly wilting under a warm dinner table lamp. And for dessert, we have the Tunis cake, a dense Madeira cake topped with a thick slab of chocolate and decorated with marzipan fruits. This rich, heavy dessert was a holiday favorite, probably because after one slice, you were in a sugar coma until New Year's. Now let's crown the strangest dish of the decade, cocktail meatballs. Picture this, meatballs drenched in a sauce made from grape jelly and chili sauce. It's the kind of recipe that sounds like it came from a fever dream, but somehow it works. Sweet, spicy, meaty. Who knew these flavors could get along? It's like the food equivalent of that one odd couple at every family gathering that somehow makes it work. Believe it or not, these grape jelly meatballs were a hit. They became a must-have at parties, and to this day you can still find people whipping them up for potlucks. It's proof that sometimes the weirdest combinations end up being the most memorable. Moving on, let's talk about the Christmas tree. By the 1970s, Americans had started to drift away from the modern, shiny ornaments and electric light displays of the previous decades. Instead, they reached back, way back, to Victorian roots and handmade European traditions. This wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about creating Christmas trees that felt like Christmas. Families wanted ornaments that had charm, warmth, and meaning. And if they could also double as a snack, well, even better. Edible decorations became the heart of many 70s trees. Imagine strings of popcorn and cranberries weaving through branches, giving the tree a rustic, homey vibe. The popcorn itself was more than just a movie theater treat. It was a nod to indigenous American holiday practices, making these decorations feel not only crafty, but also connected to something older. And if you think modern DIY holiday projects are big, just know that in the 70s, everyone was getting in on the action. The charm of these trees didn't stop at popcorn. Families would bake cookies to hang from the branches, string together nuts, or tie up peppermint canes with ribbons. Paper cornucopias, tiny cones filled with candies, added to the magic. These little treasures hung from the branches like hidden presents, giving kids a reason to get way too close to the tree when they thought no one was looking. But it wasn't just about sweets. The 70s Christmas tree was a multi-sensory experience. Forget artificial pine-scented candles. People hung oranges pierced with cloves, filling homes with a scent that screamed, "It's Christmas!" Clusters of red peppers added vibrant splashes of color and made the decorations as spicy as the holiday spirit itself. For families who wanted to channel an old-school Victorian Christmas, delicate ornaments took center stage. They used white glass balls hand-painted with floral designs, tiny wicker baskets filled with trinkets, and lace-covered cornucopias. The vibe was vintage elegance, with ribbons and lace lending a soft, warm aesthetic to the otherwise prickly pine branches. And for the more adventurous DIY types, tin cans became their material of choice. Yep, tin cans. People would cut reflective shapes from disposable foil pans or soda cans, creating dazzling ornaments that could catch the light, with some felt tip markers and a bit of nail polish. Because why not? These homemade decorations sparkled like store-bought ones. If there's one thing to know about the 70s, it's that they made recycling look festive. No electric lights? No problem. These reflective decorations did the heavy lifting, catching glimmers of sunlight or candlelight and scattering them throughout the room. It was like having disco balls on your Christmas tree, because of course the 70s found a way to bring disco into everything. Beyond the tree itself, the decorations spilled out into the rest of the home. Greenery was draped over doorways, fragrant wreaths hung on walls, and garlands made from natural materials like pine boughs and dried fruits brought the outdoors inside. The idea was to create a space that smelled, felt, and looked like Christmas, even if it was freezing outside. Every corner of the house was touched by this festive spirit. Whether it was oranges stuck with cloves releasing a spicy scent, wreaths adorned with cinnamon sticks, or clusters of mistletoe daring guests to sneak a kiss, the 70s were all about engaging every sense. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a decoration you can eat? Christmas in the 70s wasn't just about looking at the tree, it was about interacting with it. These homes weren't just decorated, they were transformed into cozy Christmas wonderlands, full of character and creativity. But the best part of these decorations wasn't just how beautiful or delicious they were, it was the experience of creating them together. Families spent hours popping popcorn, painting ornaments, and tying ribbons, turning tree decorating into an event that everyone could be part of. And because these decorations were often homemade, they carried memories from year to year, becoming little time capsules of Christmases past. It wasn't about perfection, it was about participation. If the popcorn chain was a little wonky, or the cookie ornaments mysteriously went missing before Christmas morning, that was part of the charm. Spoiler, it was always the kids, or, let's be real, the dog. Now let's talk about movies. Although there are many, we'll only be covering the top 3 according to Ranker.com. Kicking things off is a film that's practically a holiday rite of passage. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This animated gem truly captures the spirit of the 70s with its innovative stop-motion animation and heartwarming storytelling. Imagine this, a young, lovable Kris Kringle discovers the magic of giving and finds himself facing off against the grumpy Burgermeister Meisterburger. Try saying that 3 times fast. With its charming narrative, the film explores the origins of Santa Claus in a way that gives viewers a newfound appreciation for our holiday traditions. Now let's talk about animation. It's stylish, quirky, and delightfully retro. You can practically feel the Christmas spirit oozing from the screen. And with vocal talents like Fred Astaire and Mickey Rooney lending their voices, it's no wonder this film remains an unforgettable ode to the magic of 70s Christmas cinema. So suppose you've ever wondered how Santa went from a jolly old fellow to the iconic figure we know today. In that case, this film will answer all your questions, while simultaneously making you want to bake a dozen cookies and decorate a tree. Next up is The Year Without a Santa Claus, a film that bravely flips the holiday script. Instead of the usual jolly old Santa, we get to see a more vulnerable side of him as he grapples with his own struggles. Yes, Santa Claus has feelings too. This flick is a masterclass in stop-motion animation and combines fantasy with emotional depth. It's like a holiday therapy session for Santa. Who knew the big guy could have a bad day? But don't worry, things take a turn for the better when memorable characters like Heat Miser and Snow Miser come onto the scene, and trust me, you'll find yourself singing along to their catchy tunes. The film's unique take on Santa Claus reminds us all that even the most magical of figures have their off days. It's a story that resonates, especially when you think about how we all have our ups and downs, regardless of how many reindeer we have. Rounding out our list is the delightful 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This charming tale embodies the warmth and optimism of the 1970s, focusing on a small town desperately trying to win back Santa's favor. Talk about community spirit. The animation in this film is absolutely captivating, pulling you into a nostalgic world filled with holiday magic. It follows the journey of a lovable mouse family who learns the true meaning of Christmas through faith and togetherness. What makes this movie so special is its emphasis on unity and understanding during the holiday season. It's a heartfelt reminder that the holidays are all about coming together, regardless of our differences, something we can all appreciate. Plus, the catchy musical moments are sure to get stuck in your head. Don't be surprised if you find yourself humming the tunes long after the credits roll. Now, as we revel in the nostalgia of these classic films, let's not forget the soundtrack that accompanies our holiday cheer. If you search for the 1970s Christmas classics, holiday songs on Apple Music, you'll find lots of festive tunes that perfectly set the mood. But our favorites? Well, they include the timeless classic Silver Bells by Jerry Vale, which always warms the heart. Then there's Frosty the Snowman, a jolly tune that makes it feel like winter magic is in the air. And of course, who could forget the all-time favorite Jingle Bells? It's not a Christmas song, it is the Christmas song, a holiday anthem that gets everyone in the spirit, whether you're out caroling or just enjoying some festive eggnog by the fire. There you have it, a glimpse into the warm and whimsical world of Christmas in the 1970s. As we reflect on these cherished memories, it's a wonderful reminder of the simple joys of togetherness, creativity, and nostalgia. Whether you're recreating those iconic dishes, decorating your own tree, or curling up to watch a classic holiday movie, take a moment to embrace the magic of Christmas in the 70s. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more nostalgic content. Share your favorite 70s Christmas traditions or dishes in the comments below. We'd love to hear about them. Let's keep the festive spirit alive and pass on these delightful memories to future generations. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep the holiday cheer alive.